whoa, who am I looking at in this video? Is that you, hon?
You know, we're supposed to be talking about certain topics here, not me. And that's a biased opinion, by the way.
The topic of the day. Who is the most beautiful woman in the entire universe?
So we're going to be talking about some things that come up when it comes to guidance today.
You look awesome, hon.
So now you know my husband is the videographer, and you're not going to see him because he only wants to film me here.
And I only want to see her. So.
That's why we know it's biased, right?
So we're talking about guidance, right?
Guidance.
And how a lot of individuals request guidance from the Ascended Masters. Mm-hmm. And we've had it with regards to their career, with regards to whether they should study in school, mm-hmm. Whether or not they should buy a house or if they should rent, what kind of vacation they should take, right? Mm-hmm. When they should leave, when they should come back, things like that. Just a lot of detailed guidance.
Right.
But then I, as I've told you before, you've seen me do this, where I question sometimes, guidance doesn't seem to make any sense, but because it's not our job to filter anything, we deliver it to them anyway. We don't tell them it doesn't make any sense, right?
Even when they ask us, well, what does that mean? We just deliver the message. We're not going to try to interpret anything or go through it in any way. That's for you to decide. You have to understand that yourself. Actually,
I've been told that I do tell them that it doesn't make any sense to me. So.
He does. My husband will tell you, that doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to you.
Mm-hmm. So just to make that clear. And I know you have examples of just myself.
Yes. We'll be going about during the day, running some errands or doing whatever we're supposed to be doing. And my husband will say, I feel like I keep getting pulled to go to this other place here, but I don't know why. And then he'll give all these reasons as to why it doesn't make sense. The car needs more gas. It's far. It's out of our way, or whatever the reason might be. And he'll just make a fuss about it, and I'll say, just go, just follow the guidance. When we get to the place, oh my gosh, things happen, and we're like, aha, that's why we were supposed to go to that place. No matter how far out of the way it was, no matter how much gas the car used, it doesn't matter. That's why we were supposed to go. And that happens a lot.
And then I always say at the end, when I see how things work out, I always say, what? Okay, I won't complain next time.
But he always does. I just filled this car with gas. We just went there yesterday. We're supposed to go again.
But it always works out, right?
Everything always works out.
And that's the point. That even when we think, and people might look at this and watch this video and say, well, if you question it, then why shouldn't we? That's the whole point. That's why we share the story, because you should wonder, but you should, just like you always let me do it, follow through anyway and see how accurate it is. You shouldn't just sit back and not do anything, because how will you prove that it's actually accurate?
It will be hard.
And we've had some really, to me, I'll put it this way, I'll qualify, to me, really strange guidance for some individuals.
We have.
Well, I'm a good one. How about when I was at Northwestern? I decided to do my master's, right? And then I checked, and this is again, I was still embracing this whole philosophy.
Yes, he had not truly.
But here I was told to get my master's in what? Leadership and organizational behavior, right? I'm like, what? And of course, my background is in computer science and computer design engineering, so that's all I know. And I said, I'm getting my master's in information systems and cybersecurity. Remember that?
Right.
And that's what I went for. And then we moved to here, and everybody's asking me for what? Do you have any leadership or organizational behavior skills? I'm like, what? Where'd that come from? Even to this day, one parent, she said, I'm going back to school, and she already has her master's, and she's a professor at one of the colleges here. And she's going back to school to get, guess what?
Organizational behavior?
She said, because it is so popular. Every company asks you if you have one. I didn't follow that though.
Right, and also while he was attending Northwestern for the computer science degree there, he struggled with a few of the classes.
I did. which is
And
unusual for
it's
me.
very unusual for him.
Yes, I'm not used to struggling.
And it was, he should have listened.
It's actually one class. It was one.
It was
class,
just one
but I
class.
really-
It seemed like it was
because I
for
made
the
a fuss
money.
out of it.
It
That's
was
why.
such a long. Yes.
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
true. That's true. Once you don't follow that guidance, it can be tough.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not follow that at all. That was terrible. Anyway, that's one example of not following, because to me, the person that receives the messages all the time,
Mm-hmm.
it did not make any sense because it didn't match my background,
Right.
you know, and I had no interest in that. So why would I want to get a degree in that? And it turns out that they were actually preparing me for the future,
Mm-hmm.
which I didn't realize at the time.
Right.
So needless to say, of course, I have no organizational, well, I didn't get any consultation work doing that because they were looking for somebody with a master's to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's an example. I'm sure you have more.
Oh, probably, but I think so. It's more, how does someone know if the guidance is accurate? I mean, until they
My-
follow it, they really don't know.
That's what I was gonna say, because the first thing that I think about is you really don't.
Right.
Just something you follow and see what happens.
I mean, have we had individuals who received guidance and then it really didn't make sense and it didn't work out for them?
As in they followed it, but then it didn't work out. Is what you're
Right.
saying?
Mm-hmm. Or they were following it and it didn't seem like things were working out?
I'm sure we've had, and it's probably because, like in my case, where they had certain expectations.
Oh.
Like people might say, "Oh, I think we've had an example like this. Oh, like my Korean sister, right? That was a good example. When she contacted us and then she said, "I want to buy a new couch," and
And
What?
she was very specific. I want to buy a new L-shaped couch.
exactly.
Well, if you're going to ask for guidance, you don't say exactly what, because who knows if that's really the best thing for you.
But that's what
But
I
that's-
asked you to let her know.
Right, and that's what I had to let her know. That, we're going to be asking what is the best thing for you, what is the best place for you to go to for it, and then you'll know it by these different
You'll be guided,
descriptions. Right, with
Exactly.
guidance.
But we made it very clear that, remember, it might not be an L-shaped couch, but it will be the couch you're supposed to get.
Right.
And then you want to tell the rest of that story? You're the one that knows the story about what happened.
Right, well, yes. So she received the guidance as to what color the couch will be and what store they will find it. So they went to the store and they were looking around and there was only one couch that color. And they said, well, we're going to go look around a little bit more. And they had seen some other couches and they came back to this one because it was, I guess they could come in either gray or beige or something.
The one
It
they
was
saw
like-
was gray.
the one I saw was gray,
Looks
but
like
they
gray
were supposed to be
beige.
getting like a beige colored couch. And they weren't sure if that was the one that they should be getting, but they didn't see anything else that fit. So they went back to it, and when they did, there was, I think, a statue of Buddha right by the couch,
Which they didn't see before.
which they didn't see before. And that's when they knew, this is the couch. This is the one we're supposed to go with. And it turned out that they could get the color that they wanted to, and that
They could change the
same
color,
couch.
right? But the key was, what kind of couch was it? What shape?
Oh, it turned out to be an L-shaped couch.
Exactly. Right. And that's the
Something
thing.
that they wanted anyway. But at least they were open to, what, we're going to go and we're just going to find the one that's right for us. Not with the expectation of we're going to find an L-shaped couch, what we want. No, it's just, what? They surrendered it and they said, we're just going to go get the couch.
Exactly. And the key is this. You know what your preference is, but you should be open to something else being what the perfect solution is.
Right.
And so she knew that. Once we reminded her, remember, it might not be an L-shaped couch. She said, oh, I know. So she knew that there was a possibility that the perfect couch for them would not have been an L-shaped couch. But she knew that it would be beige in color. It turned out that it was beige in color and L-shaped. And that's the way it would normally work out for individuals, right? It normally works out that way. It would be like us when we moved here. We were guided to this house. We were told about what the price would be, We're told everything about the house itself. But remember, when we got here, excuse me, when we got here, the first few months, a lot of things were breaking down. Remember that?
Yes.
And I'm like, if this is supposed to be the house that we're getting, it's supposed to be the house that we should have, why do things break down?
Right. The toilets all of a sudden wouldn't work, and shower got a leak, and just different things.
The water heater,
The built-in vacuum cleaner and all
the
kinds
stove,
of things.
the
Right.
garage door,
The oven.
everything.
Yes.
Right.
There was like all of a sudden everything was just. I'm like,
What kind of guidance was that? That's bogus guidance, right? But then we found out that the previous owners had included, they got for us, which we didn't know, they surprised us with it. What's that called?
home warranty.
A home warranty, right? And so everything that was breaking down was repaired for free because it was covered under the home warranty.
Yep.
Now after the 1 year, they didn't want us to renew
They
it.
didn't renew it with us. Oh, we get a home warranty from some other company.
Yeah, you guys cost a lot of money. But by the end of that 1 year, we practically had a whole bunch of new things.
Yes.
The house was practically brand new. And it didn't cost us a penny because the home warranty covered it. So when it seemed as if though it was a bogus,
Deal.
bogus guidance, literally what was going on was the house was being rehabbed for us for free.
Right.
And that's when I realized, okay, this is the way it was supposed to be. We got a new water heater, new toilets. I mean, all the toilets were replaced, right? I think.
No,
Maybe.
not all of them.
How many were replaced? Like 3?
2 of them.
Yeah. Brand new toilets.
Brand new toilets, but we did get 2
the
new
kitchen
showers,
faucets,
and we had the ceiling fans in the bathrooms were
Right.
replaced, and the vacuum central vacuum system was entirely
That was
redone.
redone,
The garage door was redone.
Yep.
There was a lot that was
And
redone.
a whole bunch more. There was a lot of stuff that got done.
There
The sink, that sprayer stuff.
Oh yes,
they had
the
to-
faucet.
Exactly, they had to do that
Had to
over.
redo that.
They did something to the dishwasher. I don't remember what.
I don't
It
remember
was something.
either.
But a lot of things. And again, it was nothing out of our pocket.
Right.
It was all taken care of. That's guidance. And then there are times when it doesn't seem right.
Right.
You know?
It didn't seem right when we were going through all that. Not at all.
And so you might receive guidance and it doesn't match what you want or what you're thinking. It might make no sense to you, but
If
it's
you
up to
follow
you.
it,
Exactly.
you'll see why it was meant.
exactly. So it might seem bogus at first, as you say, bogus, right?
Bogus.
But from our experience, we've never seen one where it didn't work out.
Right.
For the better for the person. It might not be the way they expected it to be, but it's always worked out for the better for that individual or for the individuals involved.
Right. Okay.
I'm thinking, I know there was one, a close friend of mine, where she was guided to do certain things and she really didn't follow through with them the way she was supposed to. Like she was being handed a building where she was going to live in one part and rent out the other part to give income.
Oh,
Remember that?
vaguely.
Right. And then, and I didn't know what was, well, I sort of knew because I was told I had to wait before I would let her know certain things. And then later on, she found out that her husband was cheating on their marriage. Remember that? And literally almost came to a divorce, but then she couldn't. They were preparing her for that just in case she chose that route. Not that they said masters encourage that,
Right.
but she was in a situation where she didn't have that freedom because the opportunity that was given to her, she didn't take full advantage of it at the time. She was kind of taking her own sweet time. So the building wasn't ready. She hadn't done what she was supposed to with that. And then she felt stuck. It's like, I don't have a choice. I have to stay here, which was kind of a shame. But I saw that and I realized, wow, sometimes guidance comes in a different way. They don't tell you why. Actually, I'm never really told why most of the time.
Right. You
You're
just told you should do this.
Exactly. And then you find out later on why. And then if you don't follow, then you're like, okay, you either get mad because they didn't tell you why, which no, they don't, or you take responsibility for it, and then next time you'll make sure you follow it.
Right.
So is guidance real? I'd say so. but sometimes it takes some time before you see how it unfolds. It could take years sometimes, and we've seen that. Like with our eldest daughter, it took her years to be where she is now. It took her a long time. She applied to different schools when she wasn't supposed to yet, and then finally she was okay, apply now, and then everything worked out. Went to school, got out, and now she's doing what she really loves. But she wondered at one point whether or not she should switch because it didn't seem to be working out.
Right.
And we had to remind her, well, you do it if you want to, because you can decide not to follow it, right? But this is what you're supposed to be doing, and she decided to stick with it. And then, thank God she did. She's fine now. So what's the moral of the story? Again, really, what are we telling people with all these stories?
When you receive guidance, follow it and see what happens. You won't know until you follow it. And if you don't follow it and things get worse, well, maybe next time you will follow. Bottom line.
Okay, Miss Blunt Person.
I think that's all for today.
But that's true, though. Just follow it. What are you going to do? It's going to make your life worse? Your life is not going to get worse, right? If you follow it. That's for sure.
Right.
It can only get better.
Right.
So,
okay. We'll see you in the next video.
Don't you do that? Follow us on Facebook or whatever it is.
I normally put that in the description.
Oh, okay.
The Facebook, the YouTube, and all the contact.
All right. All right, beautiful lady. You going to smile for me or what?
I already am. Bye.
Bye.